I've heard a story. A king was passing, sitting in his chariot. He saw an old lady who had a very huge bundle of hay on her head, and she could hardly walk. The king saw this. He took pity on her. He said, "Old lady, sit in my chariot, and I'll drop you wherever you wish to go. I'm your king." The woman said, No, please don't bother. I'll manage. Thank you very much for asking, but how can I sit in your this beautiful chariot? I'll soil it because my feet are not clean. I'm all filled with mud. I don't want to bother you. King said, "Don't worry about that. Come on, sit." She said, "Okay." So on the back of the chariot, she took her seat. The chariot moved, and after a while, he turned back to see whether she's okay or not. And what he finds, that she's still holding that big load of hay on her head. He said, "Lady, why don't you put it down?" She said, "I cannot do that. I am not a thankless person. It is enough that you have taken me. I cannot put load of my hay on your chariot. I better keep it with me." So don't break your necks. Please put this load of your stress down. Kick it away. You need not worry. Life is uncertain, and life is going to bring uncertainties in your life. And when you accept life in its totality, which means death too is part of it, where you accept the life in totality means laughter and tears are going to remain integral part of your life, then why should you be scared of tears, and why you should be running for more and more laughter? Let it be so. Tears too are very good. It cleans your eyes. In old age, the eyes go so much so dry that your physician has to prescribe the tears so that you can keep your eyes moist. So if once in a while tears come, please go ahead and cry. Crying is beautiful. But don't cry out of frustration. Don't be a baby. Don't cry because things didn't work out as you had planned. And the best plan is don't have any plan. This is the best plan, the most best plan. Don't have any plan and accept the life, whatever it may bring. Whatever. Why should you be scared of anything happening to you? Because you don't own anything. Not even this body is yours. Is it? Did you make it? You have a body which is given to you. And no one asked what shape, what form, and how long you would like to live. No one is asking you. You have been given a body. Don't be a thief. Don't be a dacoit. This body is property of the nature. You have been given on a lease. So it can be taken away anytime. The lease can be cancelled. If you don't behave well, gone. If you don't wake up early in the morning, if you don't do yoga, if you don't do pranayama, you are breaking the contract. And one day you will be caught and this body would be taken away. The early deaths, the sickness, this is what is going to happen if you don't respect. This body has been leased out to us. Be respectful to this body. You don't own it. You are not the owner. Listen to this. It is said so that Sri Krishna had 16,108 wives. Right? And all of these had come to him on their free will because their families were not ready to accept them, because they were abducted by one king. And he wanted to keep all these women as his concubines. And Sri Krishna had helped them and brought them out of this king's clutches. And these women said that now we have no place to go, so you will have to accept us. Our family will not accept us. So there are only two options. Either we commit suicide or we live with you. Krishna said, fine, I accept all of you. And he accepted. One Hindu guy was saying, see, our Lord, 16,108, we are not even allowed to. What an injustice. I said, that is the case. For you, your one wife is more heavier than those 16,108. And for Sri Krishna, even this number is a very small number. He knew how to win heart of a woman just by his sweet glance. He was such a charismatic man, such a beautiful man. And a great yogi who had mastery on his body and his mind. And who had such a mastery that with yogic powers, who could create 16,108 bodies similar to his body. No one can be a match to him. Not very long ago, Paramahansa Yogananda, in his very famous book, Autobiography of a Yogi, has talked about a yogi in Benares who had two bodies. One body was sitting right in front of him, and his another body at the same time had gone to call his friend that Mukund Ghosh has come to see you. It's not unusual. Sri Krishna had such a large family, and from every wife he had almost 8 kids. And do you know what? None of the kid was worth calling Krishna's kid. They were spoiled brats. So if Lord Krishna could never gain any affections and great children, who are you? अगर तुम्हारा बच्चा नालायक निकल आए ना, दुखी मत हो, उनके भी नालायक ही थे. आपस में लड़ मर गए थे, एक दूसरे को मार दिया था. That's how the whole story ended. And one, Sri Krishna was asked by sage Durvasa. He asked Krishna, how come your children are fighting and killing one another? And you are not doing anything. And Krishna smiled back and he said, Durvasa, every story which has begun has to end. And this is how it ends. And I'm seeing it. I'm just being a witness to all this tamasha, all this game show which is happening in front of me. And I am not here to intervene and stop them from killing one another. Let it be so. Durvasa says again, but they are your children. Krishna smiled back. He said, Durvasa, are you forgetting with whom you are talking? They aren't mine. Biologically, yes, but still they aren't mine. My mind is not attached to them. So I say, if you are really in love with Krishna, then take this lesson. Don't be attached with your kids and let them live their own life. They will commit certain mistakes. So what? They will maybe learn from that, and maybe they won't learn from that. Don't be a matron with the stick all the time behind your kids. Would they listen to you? Are they listening to you? Only if you can manage your mind, this would be good enough. Don't try to manage others' life. You cannot manage. Because every mind has an ego, and that ego doesn't permit them to listen to someone else's advice. They feel offended. They feel insulted. And don't insult someone. And be respectful to your own self.